Hello and welcome to the Snickerdoodle Knits YouTube channel. I am Jessica, the knitter and designer behind Snickerdoodle Knits, and in this video I am going to demonstrate how to join in the round. This video will specifically focus on joining in the round with circular needles, either a needle that will fit your project circumference well, or a needle that is too large for your project circumference and you need to use magic loop for the project. I will link the tutorial in the description box below to demonstrate how to work in the round using DPN needles, or double pointed needles. Now, to work in the round, you will cast on just the same as you would cast on when working flat. So let's go ahead and cast on 30 stitches. Now that we have cast on our stitches, we need to join in the round. Because my cord is too long to just start knitting, I will join using magic loop. Magic loop is a method that you can use anytime your circular needles are too long for your project. Or, in other words, anytime your circular needles are longer than the circumference of your project. You will first start by splitting your stitches in half. So I cast on 30 stitches, so I'll count 15, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And here I will pull the cord between these stitches. You'll bend the cord slightly and just continue to pull the cord out. This will slide your stitches onto your knitting needle. Now, you can see that naturally some of the stitches started to twist. You do not want your stitches to twist. Before you join in the round, make sure all of your stitches are pointed down in the same direction and connected straight across with your other stitches. If you have a twisted stitch, for example, if this were twisted like this, I would end up with a twist in my entire project. If you're knitting something like a hat, it would be absolutely impossible to wear a twisted hat. It would also be impossible to actually finish off your hat properly. So let's make sure our stitches are completely straight and not twisted. Now, go ahead and hold all of your stitches and pull out the back needle. The back needle is always the needle that has the working yarn attached to it. Your tail should be in the front. If, for example, you had that mixed up, you could just turn your needles around and correct that, making sure to bring your stitches flat. Of course, now I have my working yarn in front, so I need to twist that back, bringing my cord over, and then I need to straighten my stitches again. There we go. Alright, so my working yarn is in the back. I'm going to pull my back needle out. And to start, it's probably easiest to try to hold on to your stitches a bit. Now, do you see what I did there? I brought my working yarn between the two needles so that my yarn is ready for me to use for a knit stitch. Now I just work the stitch normally. Just knit it and pull it off like normal. Now pull your working yarn snug. It is common for beginners who are working in the round to end up with what is called ladders. This is just a gap between your stitches and is not a desirable effect. To continue working in the round, you will just continue to work your stitches. For this demonstration, I am just knitting all of my stitches. So go ahead and work to the end of your first needle. it might be a bit awkward when you're first starting out. But anytime you're working this first round of stitches, it can be a little bit awkward. I promise it gets better as your fabric gets longer. Alright, I have just completed knitting my stitches off of my first needle. What I will do now is bring my needle with the stitches to the back so that my working yarn is on my back needle. I will hold my stitches tight and pull the cord because this will bring my knitting needle back through my stitches. If it's a bit tight, you can wiggle your stitches on your needle a little bit. Now, we will do exactly what we did when we started the round. Bring our working yarn between the two needles, pull my back needle out, knit this first stitch, or work it however you're working it. Work it like normal, and then pull a little snug on this stitch, on your working yarn, just to pull this stitch tight. And we will continue to work according to the pattern. Just like anything in knitting, when you're beginning, it is very easy to have your stitches too tight. Try to relax, let loose, and work those stitches at a moderate gauge. All right, we have completed our first round of knitting. Now we will bring our working yarn back to the back needle. So our back needle's in the back with the working yarn attached. We will hold our stitches, pull the needle through, and you will continue to work in the round in the same manner. Pulling the back needle out and continuing to work in the round. Always making sure to pull a little snug on that first stitch of the needle just to make sure that you don't have any laddering going on. Now, say I'm in the middle of my round because my round is too long for what I'm needing to work on right now. To be careful that your stitches do not fall off, you can easily slide your stitches onto your cable like so. There are also handy accessories like needle minders or needle caps that will help ensure that your stitches stay on. Let me show you. To use a cap, the caps look something like this depending on where you buy them. And I just have a hole to cover your needle. Just slide it on and put one on each end. And now it's okay if your stitches slip to the end of your needle because you have a cap that will hold them in place. The other accessory that I had mentioned is a needle minder case. It looks something like this. Often they have snaps that you open. You will then pull your needles through your project. Hold your needles together. Slide your needles into the case and snap to secure. This will keep your needles safe. It will keep your needles from stabbing into yarn, and it will keep your stitches from falling. I hope you found this tutorial helpful and informative and easy to follow. If you continue to have questions on how to join in the round or how to work magic loop with circular needles, go ahead and replay this video at a slower speed. And if you still have questions, leave those questions in the comments below and I'll get back to those as soon as possible. If you like the video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button to like the video, and make sure to subscribe to the Snickerdoodle Knits YouTube channel for additional knitting content like this. We hope to see you around. Happy knitting!